Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to the Kevin McHale episode of Hack a Chat, the NBA's first podcast with a man who works for a AAA baseball team. That's me. I'm Chuck P. And with me, as always, is the Phillies mascot, the Dan Attic. Dan, what are we going to do today?
Oh, we are here to talk some hoops and tell you what happened to Latrell Sprewell.
Behind the MacBook, we have the best Buckeye, Gyro.
It's nice to be here.
We're happy you showed up. We're glad to be here again.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I know. It's been a break. We've all had a lot of stuff going on.
But I mean, a little break within, the most important part of the NBA season. But hey, whatever.
Look. Sometimes life doesn't stop. Life doesn't stop.
Until they start paying us the big bucks to do this, sometimes life gets in the way. Until
life doesn't stop for
$1 million
basketball.
checks to talk about the NBA.
We'll get there.
Sometimes this stuff's got to happen, but we'll get there. You're right.
We'll get there. Dan, you got engaged.
I did.
Amazing. You're gonna get
Have
married.
we talked about this on the pod yet?
I think so. Yeah, I think that was the
did.
last thing that we talked about on the pod.
It might have been. That was months ago.
It's been so
Which is
long.
okay.
You got engaged. You have a place to live with your fiance or your soon-to-be wife, I should say. You're gonna be living there with your soon-to-be wife.
She'll be moving in. She'll be moving in October
After the
when we
wedding.
get married.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
of course.
so we get married. I'm actually moving in there in 2 weeks, so I get to just
Oh, man.
mess the place up before she gets there, which will be a blast.
So we're not going to see those walls or shelves anymore. We're going to be in a whole new place. Possibly.
And this place is way nicer than the walls and shelves of the place that I'm currently staying.
That's
Let's
fine.
just say when it's just me, not as important, but when there's going to be two of us, way more important. So it'll look nicer.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. What's been going on with you?
I got a new job.
Sure did.
I am now the on-field host for the Columbus Clippers AAA baseball team, which is awesome. As you can see by my 2-year-old shirt, I have Clipper stuff on.
Ring your bell.
You remember how I used to wear nothing but Blue Jacket stuff? Now it's going to be nothing but Clipper stuff, except for today where I'm wearing my Chance hat because the concert's in 2 days, and I'm super pumped about it. But I'm on field. I'm on microphone, doing stuff for a professional baseball team.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who's really the fastest? Mustard, ketchup, or relish?
Okay, so first off, never bet relish. If you're your friends are like, haha, let's put $1 down on whatever, don't go relish. Because if there's odds to make somebody the heel of the race, 9 times out of 10 it's relish.
Which makes sense. It's relish, right?
Right, exactly. Nobody likes relish anyway. The next thing is there is a guy who comes to every single Columbus Clippers baseball game, and he has season tickets behind home plate, and he has a shirt that is it says "Go Mustard," and it has a picture of a ketchup bottle with one of those circles and X's behind it. He has a hat with a hot dog that has mustard, and he has these mustard bottles that are shakers, and he just goes nuts. Absolutely crazy for the hot dog race. And every time Mustard doesn't win, he sends a message via Twitter to our official account. And if they go an entire homestand without Mustard winning, he sends an email and a real letter to the organization to tell them how rigged it is. It's incredible.
This guy sounds like a guy we need to get to know better.
Well, that is the reason I always go ketchup. Just saying.
Smart.
So yeah, it's a ton of fun. It's an absolute blast. If you are anywhere near Columbus, Ohio, please come to one of my games. We only have 71 of them.
Lots of chances to catch you live.
Absolutely. A lot of chances to catch me live.
If you don't catch them live there, you can always download the pod and listen to you here.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm so glad I had all this. This gave me experience for that.
Pod?
If I do that, they'll definitely fire me. If I just start talking about my own personal business, they'll be like, "You get out of here." It won't go well. It won't go well. Dover also had some important stuff happen.
Oh yeah.
Dan, you want to hear about Dover's important stuff?
You're back now. You froze for 30 seconds.
Here's the thing: is you froze.
No, yeah.
And I kept going.
Perfect.
And I vamped a little. It's okay. Look,
good.
technology is hard sometimes.
We're here. We're
But
here.
I was just saying, if
The creeks, getting them loosened out.
yeah, we got the rest. The rest versus rest. I don't know what's going on. But no, if I plug the pod, they're not going to be happy with me. But I want to talk about Dover's big news.
Yeah.
Dover is now a college graduate.
Oh yeah.
A
lot of people at graduation. A lot of people.
Have you listened to the Vitamin song yet?
The what? Oh no, I will not. I won't sing him that song. Nor will I want him to hear that song. If anybody wants to come, Dover's grad party is Memorial Day, May 29th, 2 to 6 at. No, I wasn't going to say your address.
Darn it.
5571, and then figured out the street.
Chuck, how will our German listeners know where to go if we don't give them the address?
5571. Guess. Oh my
German.
gosh!
If we get
we know you
somebody-
love Hackachat. Just come.
If one crazy person
Yeah.
shows up,
That'll
it's gonna be amazing.
Something.
There's one an absolute crazy person who's just been looking for the time to show up, and this is gonna be it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dover has a grad party. Well, Dover graduated, and it was a long, arduous road, but he had a lot of fun doing it. He got to be in the band for 4 years, and saw a national championship or whatever. So
Whatever.
been a lot of fun stuff. He's now an alumni of Ohio State. So
Yeah,
now
I learned this.
Yeah.
Alumnus.
there's
Alumni.
a difference between alumnus. Alumnus means you went to the school. Alumni means you graduated.
I had to go to college to learn that.
No, you had to finish college bore you learned that.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
And-
I finished college. I did not know that.
Wow.
Guys, I haven't finished college, and I knew that. So I don't know what you guys are doing
Yet.
yet. We're getting there.
Yet.
Here's the thing: we've been chatting away, but we haven't been
Right, yeah.
chatting away. I think it's time that we get to some ball. You ready to get some ball, Dan?
Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
Here we go.
We've had 2 rounds already happen in the NBA playoffs. We're going to give you the top 5 rundown of everything that's happened. And I'm going to start with the top, and then we're going to work our way down. So literally the most north we could go. The Toronto Raptors stunk in this playoffs.
Sure did.
What the crap? Going into this year, they were supposed to be the number 2 team, challenging the Cavs for the number 1 spot. And sure, they had some injuries and they had some weird, roster moves during the regular season, but they had the talent to be the number 2 team in the East, challenging the Cavs to try and knock them off. And they slumped out in 4 games in the second round. And that was sad.
But did you expect anything different?
A little bit.
Why? What makes you feel any different about it?
Here's what I wanted to believe would happen. I wanted to believe that we would see all NBA Kyle Lowry, that we would see DeMar DeRozan playing the way he was at the beginning of the regular season, playing in the playoffs at top DeRozan. We would have Serge Ibaka protecting the rim. We would have PJ Tucker being a defensive stopper, hopefully on LeBron. And, doing whatever you can against LeBron when you're PJ Tucker. But those are 4 guys they could have easily depended on. And then you have guys coming off the bench who played really well. Corey Joseph, defensively, played really well. Norman Powell had his own games this playoffs, which I've been ringing that bell for a year. And I was so pumped when that happened. But Kyle Lowry didn't show up.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan wasn't there as he should have been, and Serge Ibaka did not play like the Serge Ibaka we saw 1 year ago, much less the one who was being upset in Orlando earlier this year. So it was. I didn't want to blame coaching, but I think that Dwayne Casey should have been gone last year, and I think he lucked out to go to the 3rd round to stay around. So I don't know about Dwayne Casey. I don't think he's an elite coach. Just my opinion. What have you seen about Dwayne Casey that you think he should stay around?
the thing that, well, it's not even Dwayne Casey. I think it's the bully on the playground, and you're like that first or second grader, and you just know there's nothing you can do to, get back at this guy. There's just nothing you can do. Like, he's beating you up. He's going to beat you up at recess. He's going to take your lunch money, and then he's going to go buy a cinnamon roll with it from the extras line. Like, there's just nothing there's nothing you can do at this point to stop it.
So you think it was just the fact that the Cavs are just so overpowered?
Well, I think the Cavs are so overpowering to that, it's just lodged in that Raptors mindset from the top down of like. I appreciated that at the trade deadline they went for it. They went and got Ibaka. They went and got PJ Tucker. So they mustered up the courage to step to that bully and say, "Hey, no, you're not taking the lunch money anymore." But I think once they took the lob off the backboard for the dunk within 5 minutes of the first game, it was like, "Oh no, we don't belong here." And I don't think that's their fault. Like, I think they really they took a swing at it, but then a dunk off the backboard happened with the first 5 minutes. It was like, "Oh yeah, we don't." Yeah, that guy takes our lunch money and goes buys that cinnamon roll, and like Bob just puts an extra bit in our sock. Like, we get it. Like, that's just what happens. I didn't expect anything different.
Okay.
I did not. And I think Lowry getting hurt it made it a sweep instead of maybe 5.
Right.
I think that was an inevitable Cavs win. I just don't think. I think LeBron is doing that much right now. To where there's almost nothing you can do. And I don't fault Dwayne Casey for that. I don't fault Masai Ujiri for not putting together the right pieces. I mean, they tried. They really did. They tried to go Jonas at different times to kind of combat what they were doing. And they did. I mean, he had a huge game too when they made the switch to him. But it just didn't matter because you just don't have anybody that can contend with LeBron. And right now, you're just kind of waiting him out.
That's what you need. I mean, yeah. At this point, in the 90s, it was, well, whenever we can get out of Michael Jordan's way is when we can luck out and move up. When he retired and when he came back, it was like, look, well, we'll take the times that Michael Jordan's not around, and then you hit 99 and the Spurs right time and the Lakers right time. We're going to see that when LeBron decides to call it a day. We'll get to this with the Cavs stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more. I'm finally ready to have the conversation of, is LeBron as good as Michael Jordan?
I am not.
I'm ready to have the conversation. I'm not ready to be up there, but
I could be.
I'm ready to start.
Within the next month, I could be.
Right.
It all depends on one thing. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Speaking of teams disappointing us, the Clippers, for the 5th season in a row, blew a series lead and went out early, which stinks. Now, they've faced a lot of garbage. Blake getting hurt 2 different times, Chris Paul going out different times. They had the Donald Sterling stuff, which wasn't great. They've dealt with a lot of crappy things, but it's been 6 years that this crew has been together, and we haven't seen anything past the second round. Is it time for the Clippers to try something new? Blow it up or sew it up?
I sit on the side of I can look at Chris Paul's talent and say, this guy is remarkable.
Right.
All of the advanced statistics tell you that this guy is remarkable. The fact that he's listed at 6 foot, I think, is a lie. I think he's closer to 5'10".
Yeah, I agree.
And I can understand the rest of the team seeing his brilliance as a point guard as, hey, I'm glad this guy's on my team. But the amount he talks and doesn't shut his mouth and tells everybody where to be all the time and just yips like a chihuahua in the Taco Bell commercials. Like, it's like, okay, I've had enough. Like, stop. I'm just going to play the game. This doesn't help. I just think that crew of guys is heard too much from him. And I think you just enough of the yipping. Like, we get it, man. Like, you're great. Like, you want to really push us to be more. but you're 5'11". Like, I'm sorry, like we can't get there with you doing this.
When it comes to Chris Paul, I think that that he needs to make a decision. And in the past, like when superstars have come to free agency time and can make a move, they really can make a move based on really two things: one, their bank account, or two, their legacy.
Right.
And so, I think this is my personal opinion. Chris Paul's bank account is fine. He's not only made a ton of money playing, but endorsements. I mean, he's on every other State Farm commercial ever made. I mean, he's got loads of cash, but he will never be up the rung. He will never make it up those pyramid levels, the Bill Simmons pyramid levels, if he can't get a ring or at the very least reach the finals. Yeah. If he doesn't think that he can do that with this team, he's got to go. He's got to get out, right?
And there's some interesting options for him to go do that this summer. I mean,
I texted you one the other day when Tony Parker went out.
That one? Oh, I mean, that would be interesting, but I mean, it'd be tough. But man, you put him with Giannis in Milwaukee, he would never go to Milwaukee from LA. He just wouldn't do it. But man, can you imagine?
I just shuddered.
Him with incredible. That team? We didn't even get to talk about Giannis, but God Almighty, that guy was incredible in the playoffs.
No kidding.
We don't have enough time to really dive in there, but just
we can do like Giannis, a whole playoffs postmortem.
Just hey, this is Giannis, and he is better than everybody, and he is showing up. Just watch out for the next 2 years. But the thing that's always, if Doc had built this team in the mid 2000s, this is a formidable team. Like this is a problem for everybody. Unfortunately, a couple teams decided, hey, let's just get a bunch of shooters. And everyone's like, we got to have shooters. Right. And this Clippers team never really had the small forward to either shoot it on both ends, or shoot it on one end and defend on the other, or defend on one, or shoot it on one end and not defend on the other. Like they just never really had that small forward. It never happened. And they tried with a couple different guys, but it never worked out. And the video game player in me is like, yeah, just trade everybody, get them out, like just build a whole thing all over again. So here's my question, and I think it's time to move on. I think it's time to move on from everybody and just start from the ground up. You
brought up Doc, his coaching, and you also brought up the fact that he is a GM as well. Right. There's a conversation that started after this that Doc was at the right time, right place with the Celtics in 2008. That's his only championship. And that he, beyond that, is nothing more than a good motivator. You know, he might not be great as an NBA head coach, but he can get guys to rally, which I don't believe. But I think that even if that is your highest peak as a coach, you can't also be a GM. I think that
you can't go out and trade for guys that beat you in the East.
Right.
A couple of years ago. Like you can't just go pick up everybody. It's like, hey, that guy was kind of good against us for a couple games. Sorry. I join you. But
I desperately want Doc Rivers to not have the position he has right now next season. I just want him to be a head coach. Doc, I just let it go. Find somebody you trust. Because like Pop, RC, and RC, like they're amazing. Like when you can find a head coach, GM that work well together, like you see incredible things happen. And I just don't think that anyone should take up both of those positions. There's just too much work to do.
I would envision something this summer with a 3-team. Carmelo goes to LA, Blake goes to OKC, and moving parts and pieces around to make that happen. I would not be surprised if that's what we see this summer from a response for the Clippers. I just don't think Blake and Chris. I just don't think that's the way to go. But we'll see.
Oh, and we'll see what Blake turns. We have this whole conversation off season. Let's do that off season.
I agree.
I'm gonna push through these last three. We've been taking quite a bit. The Wizards hung around. They scraped and scrapped, and they're surviving. Not only through the first, but even to get to Game 7 in the second round against the Celtics. What do you think of this Wizards team? What kind of chops do they actually have? This just like the roster that they have right now.
John Wall doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. That's what I've been thinking the entire time.
Yeah. Yes.
He
Uh-huh.
he is athletically in the same stratosphere as Russ. Now he doesn't have the same um, like energy level for an entire game
Right.
because Russ doesn't get tired because he's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
But John Wall's spurts are as aggressive, as powerful, as Runaway Freight Train,
As fast.
anybody's.
Just
As
so
fast. I mean,
he's so fast.
I mean, I know I talk about this all the time, but like his high school highlight video is the most explosive thing of any high school highlight video. So if you haven't seen that, go look up John Wall's high school highlight video, and it is terrifying. But he's been doing that now with this team, and it's remarkable. And I am just blown away at what he has done. And I don't watch enough Wizards throughout the year. I mean, I watch them because I think he's great, but not enough. Not night in, night out. And now that I've watched every game of the playoffs with him running the show, I mean, he just does not. He is better than what the league props him up to be.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean, he's a point guard who won a dunk contest, quote unquote. That was a
Right.
really weird dunk contest, but he won it, basically.
Right.
I think Scotty Brooks is way better than people give him credit for. Watching him coach this, I think he's done an amazing job with the Wizards. Just small tidbit there. I think he's done well.
Yeah.
Hot take. Move on.
Yeah.
Another big story. Both the Cavs and the Warriors didn't lose a game in the first 2 rounds. And spoiler alert, I've already seen game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Sorry, guys. The Warriors still haven't lost the game. They're 9-0.
Yeah.
This team is phenomenal. They're so good. They're just so good. Sometimes I'm just
I
blown
don't
away.
even like him. I
You don't
can't
even-
even handle it. I can't do it.
I can't get on
so-
Twitter during Warriors games anymore. There are so many people who have a very similar opinions to you where it's like, ugh, I don't want this kind of game here. And I just can't. It just makes me upset. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll leave. I don't care.
Yeah, so we won't dive too deep into it. But I'll be honest, I've watched only bits and pieces of the Warriors so far because I can't do it. I really can't.
They're too good.
I did the beginning of the
too good.
first game of the Jazz because I was like, hey, preseason, I said this might be the team that does it, and they did not.
They did not. The Rockets went out in the second round. They were playing really well, and they hit game 5, 6, 7, and especially 7, and James Harden didn't do well at all, which really sucks for James Harden.
So I was listening to Zach Lowe and Sam Amick on the Low Post podcast Friday night as I was driving into the city, and interesting, sports science versus player discussion came up. James Harden likes to play. A lot of these stars like to play the entire first quarter.
Right.
It gets them into the rhythm. They're into the flow of the game. But the extrapolation of minutes throughout the entire year doesn't work out well. So the appropriate time to rest is at the end of the first quarter. So what the sports science folks, Mike D'Antoni and James, had come up with was, hey, if we sit you for the last 30 minutes of the first or 30 seconds of the first quarter and then into your second quarter, that's what we'll do as the compromise. And we didn't see that a couple times in this series.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think by the end of it, I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with because he was done physically.
Yeah.
In that game, like he just didn't have it. He
Made
just
2
did not
field
have it
goals.
physically.
Well, and that's the thing is when you have your superstar, I mean, your MVP candidate leading your team to hopefully a title run, and he runs out of juice. I think that is more on the composition of the team than how possibly he was managed, especially his minutes in the playoffs. I think that through the year, had other people had bigger responsibilities, bigger loads. I mean, you had the only other guy that I can think of that had like a defining, huge, important role was Patrick Beverley guarding the best wing defender, and the rest of the entire roster is 3-point shooting and who can catch lobs, and
Right.
it just you didn't have enough people to take over a game. You brought that in with Lou Williams later on, but he's also not quite at that level. I just think that the Rockets need another superstar if they're going to take any steps forward.
Well, I think the other thing was, speaking of James Harden and his just running out of gas, when Nene went down,
Right.
it then had to Mike D'Antoni had to make a choice. Am I going to match what the Spurs do, play more Montrezl Harrell, play more Capella and Anderson at the same time to guard both bigs, or am I just going to stick with what I want to do and play small? And he tried it, and he tried it early on in games. And as someone who played on the wing but also played some like stretch four at times, even though Division III was a little different where you could be 6'3" and play at the four. Going from being the guy on the offensive end that's the mismatch to having to guard a post player on the other end,
Right.
it wipes you out. And you would see it with James Harden. I mean, Pop just went, hey, dump it into Powell. I know he might not score at a 60% clip like we want him to, but the fact that he's just going to take 2 and 3 dribbles and back him down is going to require so much energy for Harden that they're not going to be able to hide him, and he's not going to just roll over. And I think that happening in those final 2 games of the series just derailed him. And it's hard. It's really hard to do, and it requires a lot of energy. So then to try to take that and be the load bearer of the offensive end on the other side,
Right.
wasn't going to happen.
Well, and then you know, so many minutes in that final game. I mean, even if you got to the second round, he was just going to be or the third round, he was going to be wiped against the Warriors. What are you going to do? That was our rundown of the first 2.
I wanted to see that series, though, really badly. I really wanted to see just 500 threes go up in the first 2 games.
This is our run through of the first 2. Hey, Dover, is everything looking good? Does everything seem all right? I just want to make sure we're doing well. It's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah, there might be one
chicken?
little problem.
What's going on? Oh, is it the chicken? Is it we're missing the chicken?
No, not the chicken. No.
Oh, but can we get the chicken anyway?
Yeah, we can get the chicken. Yeah.
Do you have the chicken?
I have one here. I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh, no? Okay. We'll move on. Well, is there anything that we need? Don't worry about it, Dan. It's okay. No.
Okay.
I didn't prepare you because we have Chandler Bing and he has the duck, so we don't really need the chicken. So we're good.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
gotcha.
good. We're good there.
So I went to that farm today for no reason.
Yes.
Is what you're telling
No.
me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really shouldn't have done that.
Happy Mother's
Wow.
Day to all the mothers out there.
But what needs to be changed there?
I think your laptop. There's a
What's
little
wrong?
logo on your laptop. We can't have that in the video.
Is this not okay?
I don't think that's okay.
In a VO, do we need to change that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Luckily, I have these old Cavs fatheads. I'm not hanging them up anymore
Nice.
because I ripped off the paint. Here's Mike Dunleavy. He plays for the Hawks now.
Right.
Actually, he really doesn't play
Yes.
for anybody. Look, they have these like stickers thing. So here we go. Forever on my laptop will now be Dunleavy 3 guard. That's forever.
Nice.
So
Look at that.
this is my commitment to this show and to white shooters everywhere. Keep firing away and enjoy the bench. How about we move on? We want to talk more ball? We got another round to cover, right?
I
Round
think we
3?
do. Let's keep it flowing.
Let's keep going. For round 3, we're going to go over both matchups, Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals. For each one, we have 4 questions that will make or break the series for one of these teams. Whatever the answer is, that is going to be what's decided in these next 4 to 7 games, and that'll make the biggest differences. We're not going to have the answers to this, obviously, because they haven't happened yet. No. But we're going to discuss them and see what happens. Our first question for the Warriors Spurs Western Conference Finals. Will Kawhi stay on the court? Seriously though, will he? It's really sad.
I should so.
When he went down in the series against the Rockets, I wanted to cry. Everyone knows, it's no secret, I'm a Warriors fan. When he went down in game 1, I was still extremely upset. And spoilers here, we haven't done our awards show yet. Kawhi Leonard is my pick for MVP. He was at the beginning of the season. He is mine now. And we'll get into that full discussion later. But I think I like seeing Kawhi Leonard play more than I liked seeing the Warriors win. And that was big for me to admit just now. I love Kawhi Leonard. And that sucked. It sucks when a man with such amazing talent, we don't get to see it anymore.
Well, I think that just speaks to what has happened so far throughout the playoffs, where it's been relatively boring, for lack of a better term. And we finally get down the stretch where we have the elite teams playing each other, kind of what we thought they were going to be throughout the year. Now, the Western Conference is a little different. We had a couple teams that we thought might be there, except for like, who's going to play the Warriors, basically. And you get the team that's maybe most equipped from the top down, like all the way from the top down, to even give this team a shot.
Right.
And now the best player on the team is going to be hobbled throughout the whole series. And like
Stinks.
we're cheated in that because we've been cheated kind of so far. It's like we've had some good games, good moments here and there, but for the most part we've been cheated as far as how good it's been as far as quality of basketball. But now that we get here, we're got to the matchup we want, and our best player against the team that is the most dominant is not going to play.
And the Spurs were raising eyebrows. I mean, they've already had Tony Parker go out. They've been playing Dejounte Murray, who has actually come in, and the first few games, rocky start. But in Game 7, the closeout game against the Rockets, and in Game 1 versus the Warriors, he played pretty well. I'm really interested to see how he goes. By the way, there have been like 4 guards that have ever played in the Western Conference Finals while being 20 or younger. Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Tony Roten, and Dejounte Murray. Like, that's the list, which is like 2 of those just don't fit at all.
I'm an irrational Tony Roten fan. I can't tell you why, but I just enjoy him.
I just have. Like a couple years ago, he was on my fantasy basketball team, and it was Murder
That's
Sheet
why.
Roten.
Yeah, exactly.
That was all.
But
he was playing well, and when Tony went down, they're like, look, it's not their full roster, but they still got Kawhi Leonard. And when he was on the court, the Spurs were actually plus 23 versus the Warriors, who hadn't lost a game all season, who have 4 All-Stars, who have all of this weight behind them. They're up 23 in Oakland. And then after he goes down, they're minus 25. Everything fell apart. And I wanted to see what adjustments are they going to make? Who's going to get hot? Is Klay Thompson going to stop farting around and actually make a shot? And I didn't get to see any of that happen because Kawhi Leonard went out, and it was a totally different game. It was just a totally different game, which stinks.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking to your who will get hot,
yes.
I mean, the Spurs have to have somebody.
Patty Mills is going to have a game, guarantee it.
And that's the guy I'm thinking of right away.
Yeah.
It's got to be Patty Mills.
Same wavelength. There you go.
It just has to be, right? I mean, he has the most burden on his shoulders right now from the Tony Parker injury.
Right.
He's always been capable. He's played in a lot of these big moments. He's going to have to play outside himself. And if the Spurs have any type of chance to do this, he's the guy. And I agree with you. It's got to be Patty Mills. It's got to be.
I agree. I hope it's Patty. I mean, for the Warriors, I hope it's Klay because he's my favorite. But he's only been shooting 36% in the playoffs.
I hope
from
it's
3.
I hope it's of them. I'm actively cheering against this team. I hope 0 of their players get hot. Unless JaVale McGee from 3, then I can accept it.
Oh my gosh, JaVale just had a couple JaVale moves in game 1, where you just go like, JaVale. Hold on, JaVale McGee is playing in the Western Conference Finals right now.
But like
it's amazing.
We can get into this another time. But I mean, he's always had the ability. Now he's just in the right situation, so it's good for him. Yeah.
One of the questions that we kind of already got the answer to in game 1, but now we have no idea is what's the defensive plan going to be for the Spurs. And it started with Jonathan Simmons on Steph, and Kyle Anderson on Klay, and they had Kawhi on Durant, and they were going to try and let Draymond beat him, and Draymond wasn't. And that's why they were up so big. I mean, they actually had athletes playing well against great offensive players, knowing how to break the pick and rolls. They looked great. The help defense was there. I mean, Kawhi Leonard is the greatest help defender in NBA history, right? Like, he's amazing. And they actually had really good help defense from Pau Gasol and David Lee, which I didn't expect at all. And they actually continued that through most of the game, even after Kawhi went out. But once he did, they had to make adjustments that just made nonsense. And that's why Steph went off in the third quarter. So we kind of saw how it would go. I'm just worried that without Kawhi, I mean, they don't have a leg to stand on. I mean, he's the defensive player of the year. He's one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen.
Right. And I think the thing we've talked about in the past with this Warriors team is you're just okay with giving them layups because I'd rather them just score easy baskets than get themselves feeling really good from three. And I mean, Pop in the last series against the Rockets, it was, hey, discipline with your hands, because the more we have hands on people, the more there's fouls, and the more that happens, the Rockets get in their rhythm by getting to the foul line. With the Warriors, it's what gets them going. A couple threes by Steph or Clay or Kevin Durant.
Right.
And I think that we see a lot of the, hey, no matter what it is, run them off the line. I don't care if they shoot wide open layups, get them off the 3-point line. Because that's, he's brilliant. So I could see that being something we see, is like, no matter what it is, run them off the 3-point line.
Right. With this
easier said than done, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have these sound strategies, but here's the thing: you have Pop, who is the most sound strategic coach possibly in NBA history.
Right.
Will Mike Brown? Oh, I didn't even say that right. Will Mike Brown pee his pants versus Pop? Mike Brown is not the coach that Pop is.
I think
not even close.
If he didn't have the roster he had, maybe.
Okay.
I
even think he mismanaged stuff today
to make things. He could be peeing his pants, but they'll still be up 30. Like, hey, what's that wet spot in Mike Brown's pants? Doesn't matter because the Warriors are up 28.
It's all right. It's okay. Ron Adams led the huddle, so don't worry about it. We're fine.
Exactly. He could, but I just don't think it's going to make any difference.
I don't want to see Mike Brown fall apart. Like you mentioned earlier before the show, we were talking the 07 finals. I mean, the Cavs didn't win a game versus Pop. It just didn't.
I think that's the only hope, right? Like, that's the only hope to make this series competitive, is that Mike Brown somehow is just like, I have this mental block that I can't beat this guy. Like, I don't belong in the same, video room as Greg Popovich, let alone coaching against him. But the roster, I just don't think it matters. And if we're going to get to predictions, we're going to predictions.
Yeah, go ahead, hit it.
Throw mine out there. I mean, it's Warriors in 4. Like, it'll be very fast, especially if Kawhi's out. It'll be very, very fast.
If Kawhi can get back, I think that the Spurs have a decent chance to take 2 at home. And so I said Warriors in 6. But I there's no doubt in my mind that's not one of those. I can't really choose, so let's pick 6. I think that the Warriors are going to dominate, and they're going to take 2 games off. I literally just think that's going to be it. And they escaped with 1 today, and that proves to the Spurs that even without Kawhi, they can compete. And so, even without Kawhi, they were minus 25. But I mean, they beat the Rockets without Kawhi. You think that they could get through that. Hopefully, LaMarcus Aldridge turns into Portland LaMarcus, but
animal.
Yeah, it's a totally different animal.
It's like, hey man, I'm glad you got that rabbit in the backyard with the BB gun. Hey, see if you can go do that same thing with a lion in Africa. Good luck. It's a different ball game.
Wait, is it still the BB gun, or do you have a bigger weapon?
You still have the BB gun.
Okay, yeah, it came over. Just checking.
Yeah.
All right, so they didn't go get somebody in between that. That makes sense. Let's move over to the East, right? The Leaser Conference, where we have a 53-win team as our number 1 seed. We never talked about that. The Celtics were the number 1 seed. They won that many games. That's insane to me.
I almost, we didn't get to talk about this, but I think down the stretch, I think the Cavs did it on purpose. I think they said, hey,
let's go play in Toronto. Let's go through customs.
Stuff doesn't really matter. No, I think it was more of, hey, let's put pressure on them as, hey, you're the 1 seed. That's a different pressure. That's hey, we're the upstart, we're the young team, we're the 2, we're coming. It's like, hey, you go be the 1 seed. I mean, you saw it early. They lost. early in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. It was like, "Ooh, is this team even going to make it out of the first round? Is this going to be a Golden State Warriors Dallas Mavericks thing?"
Right.
They made it through, but I think they did it on purpose. I think they did hey, here's a little rope a dope. Celtics, go have the pressure of being the 1 seed. We'll just cruise, no problem. But anyway,
So our first question is: will a member of the Big Three for the Cavs break down? I mean, they've played 190 games in 20 months. Now, we've looked at LeBron, who's a crazy person and can do anything for any number of reasons, no matter what's going on. It's like he has special powers. But do you think Kyrie, do you think Kevin Love, do you think they can do what LeBron is doing? Nobody can, right? I know, right? I don't know.
I really hope it's not any of those guys.
I hope so, too.
I think if it's going to be anybody, it's got to be one of the wing guys because they can kind of mask that. But if it's one of the big, it's a huge problem.
Right.
With Bogut going down when he went down, there isn't a lot of depth there between Thompson, Love, Fry.
If they had more size on the bench, I think the one that they could survive is Kevin Love. But they won't survive if they will not survive if Kyrie goes down. They don't have another point guard because Darren Williams can't play 36 minutes a game. He's great when he comes in, but he can't do it for a whole game.
Another option you'd have is you move Shumpert in and you have LeBron basically play the point and go LeBron, JR, Shump. But again, you don't want that either. And
I think we go Kay Felder. Bring Kay Felder back up. Let him play.
I don't know that he is ready for this. But
you don't think Kay Felder's ready? The guy who's 5'8" from Oakland? You don't think? No? Okay.
I don't know. A 5'8" guy on the other side of things is proving us all wrong. So
That's
maybe
true.
I am wrong.
That's very much true. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, that's one that I hope not. I just hope not. Let's just put it that way. I'm not gonna do any type of looking into the future with that. I just hope not.
Right. Speaking of looking into the future, do the Cavs do too much looking west to keep pace with the Golden State Warriors? I mean, we think that you've just stated that you think the Warriors are going to win in 4. Yeah. If they do you think the Cavs are sitting over there game 3 up 3-0 or up 2-1 and are like, oh crap, they're done in 4. We got to finish this bad boy up. Like, let's roll.
So I think I'm going to say, do they do too much looking to the West? I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no, they don't. I think they're enjoying that they are also playing very good basketball, but it's not being talked about as much because the Warriors have just been the media darling all year. So we'll let them continue to be that, and just everyone talks about how great they are, and the Cavs are just over here rolling up on people, and no one's really talking about it. So hey, we can get on the VersaClimb or whatever that thing is they do in between. They have the 8 days off. So I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're staying focused. I think they're staying locked into what they've got in front of them and getting a lot of extra shots up because they've got a lot of time to do so.
Cavs are amazing. Everybody knows it. Let's talk about the other side of the ball. What are the Celtics going to do if J.R. Smith gets hot? The Celtics, I think, only have enough guys to make sure that Isaiah Thomas – or I'm sorry. Let's rewind. If J.R. Smith gets hot, I think that they don't have enough people to defend. Because if they want to defend both Kyrie and JR on the perimeter, they're going to need both Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart out on the floor. And if you run Isaiah Thomas with those two, I don't think you stand a chance against the Cavs.
Tough. Really tough.
It won't happen. It won't happen.
Because you've been able to hide Isaiah in a lot of different places so far throughout the playoffs. I don't know where you hide him against the Cavs. Like, Shumpert's probably your best bet.
Yeah.
I mean, on the floor, though. He's got to be on the floor.
Exactly.
You can't put him on Darren Williams because, the old adage of, well, just let that guy back him down and, we'll throw the point guard in there and let him back. Like, but Darren Williams actually does that. That's part of his game.
Absolutely.
And that's part of being an older point guard in the league is you kind of just figure out how to back people down.
Right.
And what we talked about with Harden in the other series against the Spurs could happen here with the Cavs, regardless of what the player does. Is sometimes you just got to throw a guy down on the post and say, "Hey, we're gonna just make you tired." But I mean, he's been incredible. So I think if JR gets hot, it's a big problem because there's not much they can shift to do to hide some of the guys they have on the defensive end.
We've talked about IT. How are the Cavs going to slow down Isaiah Thomas? He's amazing. He's spectacular.
The 53-point game he had against the Wizards
blew my mind.
I was in my apartment by myself cheering very loudly anytime he was doing anything. And I'm kind of cheering. I mean, I hate that we have reading interests, but I'm kind of cheering for the Wizards in this because I really think John Wall needs more recognition.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of cheering for him to get that to move on. But man, he has just been incredible. So how do you slow him down? I think the Cavs put into place what they've been doing pretty much since last season in the finals of no matter who it is, we're trapping the ball screen.
Oh, yeah.
Just as long as that guy doesn't have the ball in his hand in the half court, like we'll let Amir Johnson beat us. We'll let Kelly Olynyk beat us. If you want to put Jay Crowder into the ball screen, who cares? We're going to trap however Isaiah comes off, we're just going to trap hard. Then you're going to play, numbers up basketball.
Right.
You get it into the guy's hands, but who cares? Just as long as it's not him.
I think this is where Horford's actual ability to shoot the three will be very helpful for the Celtics.
Yes.
It's not nearly as dependable as they would need it to be able to combat the trap, but I think I think they can do something when that happens around. If Horford is the one coming up setting ball screens, if it's literally anybody else, they're screwed. So Isaiah's been phenomenal. I remember I tweeted out that night. I was like, "Hey, remember when DeMarcus Cousins refused to play with Isaiah Thomas, and then they shipped out Isaiah Thomas, and now they've also shipped out DeMarcus? Good job, Kings. Way to go. That didn't go well at all, did it? Nice try.
Not at all.
I think that also might be one of the greatest trades ever for the Celtics, getting Isaiah Thomas from the Suns that were just had a plethora of point guards, and they were just giving them away. They're just handing them out at that point.
Just taking them.
That was amazing.
It was pretty well done.
And that's round 3. We've done it. We finished round 3.
Hey, well, what's your?
We're doing well. Oh, we didn't do predictions. Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb. You are smart, and I am stupid. Cavs in 5. It's Cavs in 5. Doesn't matter who they're playing. It's Cavs in 5.
I'm gonna go Cavs in 6, just because I think they've proved a point that they can win series quickly. I think they're gonna take just a little bit of the foot off the gas and win in 6.
I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep where you win the first 3, give them one at home, and then you take it when you get back. Let's move on to, oh my gosh, I can't believe how long I've been waiting for this segment. It's time. Dan, go ahead. Our favorite segment. It's You're Up.
It's my favorite. It's your favorite. Regardless of what's happening in the NBA world, it's everyone's favorite. It is Keeping Up with Chris Stapps.
Give it one more time. Thank you.
And who are we doing this with? Keeping up with who?
Perfect.
Chris Stapps, Porzingis. We'll take 3 of them. So, not a lot to report on the Chris Stapps front most recently. However, something very interesting that happened at the end of the Knicks season is, a lot of what these teams do is talking through what's going to happen this summer, how to set up, workouts and all that different thing. Those different things. Chris Stapps just said, "Hey, see ya. I'm not doing an exit interview. I'm going straight to Latvia because this franchise is a mess." And that's what he did. He left immediately and has not done that exit interview with the New York Knicks, which I love because you know what? He is just saying enough with this. Mm-hmm. I am the best player in the franchise. I'm the best player from Latvia. And you guys better figure this out, or guess what?
In Latvia.
See ya. So that was Keeping Up with Chris Stapps. Back to you, Chuck.
He also met, I think it was Neymar, and he traded jerseys with him. That was cool. That happened, right? Porzingis news.
Yeah.
This is just happening in his personal life. He was just meeting some of the greatest soccer players of all time. But we don't really care about soccer, right?
Yeah, not till the World Cup.
Um,
And then everyone will tell us how much we're gonna care about it, but we won't.
Here's the thing: is I'm a sucker for the World Cup. When we get in, I'm in. I push in my chip. We get to the UEFA European Champions, and I'm in. I don't even
There
care.
it is.
We did at Young Life when we went to camp. They were on, and I like snuck away to watch Slovenia versus I think Sweden in the Euro. It was amazing. I just like, you guys have fun playing wiffle ball. I'm gonna watch European soccer. It was really cold and I fell asleep. It was terrible. Anyways, with things that won't make us fall asleep, things that get us excited and ready to go, we've hit the end of our show, and we like to play some games. Dover, what game do we have this week?
20 questions.
20 questions. This is where Dan and I can ask yes or no questions.
Working together.
Yeah, yes, we'll try and go back and forth, but sometimes I get excited and I talk over Dan, and that's
Which is fine.
That's on me. Dover's going to pick a person related in some way to the NBA.
Yes.
And we are going to try and figure out who that is. Do you have your person, Dover?
Yes, I do.
All right. Dan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I think the first thing we should do is figure out if it is a player or literally anybody else. Thoughts?
Good
Okay.
question.
Dover, has this person ever played a game in the NBA?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good start.
That's a very good start. That breaks it down
Yeah.
in a big way.
Let's figure out if they're
Dover.
still playing.
Uh,
Dover, is this person an active player in the NBA?
Yes. He is.
Okay, active player.
Ooh, active player.
That's
Dover, does this player play in the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
Okay.
He's an conference player.
Has this person played more than 5 seasons in the NBA?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Do we want to try and get accolades? Maybe that'll help if they have any accolades.
Eastern Conference.
Has this player?
Dover,
Oh, go
is
ahead,
this
Dan.
player currently playing in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so it's not currently in the playoffs. Has this person ever been in an All-Star game?
Yes.
Ooh, All-Star. We have an All-Star player from the East, and we've already eliminated some teams that they're currently be playing on. So they play in the East. They're currently on a roster that is not in the playoffs right now.
Thanks for the recap. We got frozen there a little bit. We're back, though.
It's okay. Not in the playoffs. They are an all-star. What do we got? Has this person ever achieved an end-of-the-year accolade, such as an All-NBA, a defensive, or any of the awards?
Yes.
End-of-the-year accolades. Has them. Is this award been one of a defensive nature? Like a defensive player of the year or all-defensive team?
Yes.
Okay, an all-defensive player. But that doesn't it doesn't necessarily limit. Do you have a number? Do you know how many questions we've asked?
I'm counting right now.
Oh, that's fantastic. How many are we at?
That was question 8.
Who? All right,
Oh,
we've got plenty of time.
wow,
We're
we
good.
got-
We're killing this.
Got plenty.
Is this person? Has this person played?
Oh, goodness.
Has this person ever won a championship as a player? Do they have a ring?
No.
No rings.
No ring.
Darn it. We got a yes. Man, that would have narrowed it down. It would have gotten really good. Has this person been to multiple All-Star games?
Yeah. That was
Okay.
question 10.
All right. Multiple All-Star games. Playing in the East.
Not
Not
currently in the playoffs.
Not currently in the playoffs. Is this person, where do you think? Well, they have defensive accolades and they've been to All-Star games.
Is this person also a NCAA championship winner?
Has this person ever
I-
won an NCAA championship?
I don't think so.
Are you on the Wikipedia page?
No, I'm on Basketball Reference.
All right. If you're on the Wikipedia page, it'll say near the top, like all of their accolades if they've won a
You know what?
championship.
Just
if they've
for
won it.
Dan, I'm gonna do this research. Right. Here.
Thanks.
We appreciate that. This will actually be really helpful. While you're at it, is this person considered a big, a 4 or a 5 mainly?
No to both questions.
No, that was. Hold on. No, they have not won an NCAA
Yes.
championship, and
And
no, they
no.
are not a big.
Correct.
So we have a wing, multiple All-Star games, defensive accolades, not currently in the playoffs.
Just a reminder,
Did-
the
Go
guess
ahead.
is a question.
The final question. So we have 19 questions. 20 has to be the guess.
Correct.
And if we guess a person and we are wrong,
That is a
we
question.
lose.
Oh, you lose.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you only get one guess of the person.
Okay, here we go.
How many questions are we at?
That was 12.
Farts. Wait.
Chuck,
Did that
should I ask a question about if this player currently had a signature shoe made?
I don't even know if he'll know that. Do we want to figure out if this person is like a super duper star before we get to like actual, like, do we
Yeah.
want to ask if specific
probably-
awards?
It's probably a good idea. Or like, because I'm thinking it could be like a Paul George,
Okay.
but I can't say that
Oh, good point.
out loud
Well,
as a question.
right. Well,
he's
he
a wing
won
player,
a most
All-Star
improved player.
games, currently in the playoffs.
What?
Is this person a point guard?
No.
Farts. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Okay.
That's question 13.
13 shoots. All right, so it's a wing player. We have that for sure. Multiple All-Star. Not currently in the playoffs. Defensive.
Current NBA player.
You're just listing it off.
Yeah, I'm just going through everything again. This person has played more than 5 years.
Correct.
This person has never won a championship.
Also correct.
This is harder than I thought it was going to be. Is this person currently... No. Taking that question back. Has this person played more than 10 years in the NBA?
No.
Okay, between 5 and 10 years. So they're not an oldie, but they're older.
But they're a goodie.
Yeah, they're a goodie. They're definitely a goodie. This
Definitely
stinks. We're not doing well.
Well, I'm thinking it's Paul George.
Okay. Has this person
I'm
won?
stuck on that.
Has this person won a Most Improved Player award?
Yes.
Is this person? Has this person been rumored to want to go to the Los Angeles Lakers just because they want to go to the Los Angeles Lakers? If you can't answer that question, I'll move on and try something else. Is this
Yeah.
person currently behind you?
No.
Oh, it's not Paul George.
I thought we were on to something.
Dang it.
That was question 16.
Wait, did I ask if they were on the Pacers?
No.
No.
Oh,
You
good.
just-
I think I went right past it. Shoot. They did win a Most Improved Player award. Somehow
All right, so
we
before
stumbled
we-
onto something amazing.
Let's think of former NBA All Stars.
Who won those stupid awards?
I thought it was Joakim Noah, but it's not. That was why I asked the championship question.
Who has won
Boy.
these absolute pointless awards? These awards suck. Has this person been a Defensive Player of the Year?
No.
So an all defensive team, but not Defensive Player of the Year.
Eastern Conference
17.
All Star.
I
Two
feel like I
more
wasted
questions.
that. 2 more questions. Oh my god.
And then you have to guess.
And it's not a big.
So it's a wing player.
And he's been in the league for more than 5 years.
Oh! No, shoot. Avery Bradley never made an All-Star game. Come on, Charlie. Use your head. Oh, he's also not.
More than 5, less than 10.
Farts. All right.
Not currently in the playoffs.
So it's
Jimmy Butler is he Jimmy Butler multiple time or just one time All Star?
he's multiple time All-Star. Is this person? Oh gosh, is this person currently playing for the Chicago Bulls?
Yes.
Is it Jimmy Butler?
Yes, it is.
To
You had one extra question you could have used.
get Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive Team,
Oh.
2014-15 Most Improved.
Wow.
6 years in the league, came in 2011.
By the skin of our teeth, we had people shouting at their phones going, "What are you thinking? It's Jimmy Butler."
It's Jimmy Butler, you clowns. Just say the name.
Dude, that was clutch. Great work.
We got there.
Great work. Our final game that we get to play, and then we're going to get on out of here. If it hits, I'm a genius, where we throw out our bold predictions. If we're correct, we can man the title of geniuses. Dan, what is
Not
your
a
prediction?
genius.
Not yet.
I am.
So
We're getting
what
there. I am
I'm going to say is, if it hits, I'm a genius. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals will have a very similar beginning as the Cleveland Cavaliers Toronto Raptors series. Was that within the first 3 minutes of the game, Kyrie Irving will throw an off the backboard alley-oop to LeBron James that will finish in a hammer dunk, because they've had so much time to just hang out and relax
And
that
practice
they are gonna
that.
be spry, ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
off the backboard dunks, maybe even a reverse out of this one. But that's what I'm going to say, is if it hits, I'm a genius, off the backboard alley-oop from Kyrie to LeBron.
I like it. I'm going to put all of my chips in the Dejounte Murray basket and see what happens. I think that he gets 16 or more points throughout the rest of this series in every game.
He has to. I'll
Yeah,
allow
for
it.
them to last in anything at all. Dover, yours says Manu. What does that
That's
mean?
Manu.
Agree to disagree.
Ginobili.
Tomato, tomato.
I think
Manu.
since Kawhi Leonard's probably going to be out for a good part of this series, I think Manu's going to put the team on his shoulders and get at least 2 double-doubles in this series.
Wow.
At least 2 double-doubles. Can you make it 3? I'll
I'm
allow
good
it for
with
Hasn't
3.
got one in
You're
the
in for 2?
playoffs.
You're in for 2? All right, I'm in
Oh,
for 2.
yeah. You think Ginobili's going to get 10 rebounds or 10 assists or
No.
He
score
hasn't
more
got
than 10
one
points?
He's
double
39
times.
years old. He's 39 years old, but he also dunked in game 1. It was incredible.
He did also pull a bat out of thin air. So
Oh my god, he might be a
guy's capable of
vampire.
anything.
He might actually be a vampire.
I'm
We'll
okay
take
with-
we'll take 2.
2 it is.
All right, 2 it is.
Deal.
We'll see how well they do next week. Until then, we need to give some thanks to actually get everything done. Kid Runner, they provide our music, beginning and end of the show. They're amazing. They have their EP, Different Kind of Love. Give Me Something to Love. Those are the songs we use. The EP's Body Language. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. Go check that out. It's awesome. If you want to reach us, you can find us on Twitter, on all the other things that you can find media as far as YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play Store, iTunes, the whole lot of it. Just search it, find it, rate, review, share with everybody. And you can email us at hackachat.tgh@gmail.com. Hit that up. It'll be great. That's all I got for you guys. We're so happy to be back. This was so awesome. Yeah,
Guys,
Dan?
we did this really well. Like
Yeah.
we got into this flow of like, hey, we're going to talk about this player too. We did it really well with Harold Miner.
Right.
Got it all taken care of. And I know we discussed like, hey, it's not going to take me that long, but like,
Yeah, we took care of Harold Miner. I don't want to hear about him ever again
but
now.
like, can we talk about Latrell Sprewell? It's that time of year. Like he played well in the playoffs. Like he played in NBA Finals.
And look, we
I've got
were
fun
off for
stuff,
like
too.
2 weeks. We had so many things we had to do. And now we have a new
Really
camera
interesting
thing.
Story about the boat. Like there's a really interesting story about a boat.
A boat? Oh, man.
Really interesting story about a boat.
Well,
We can throw-
okay, we can't do it. How about next week?
Yeah, well, next week.
All right, next week it is.
Next week.
That'll be fine. But until then, you guys know what to do. Travel safe. Be good to one another. And of course, it's the playoffs. So ball out.